This morning. Please welcome the Head of Advocacy at the Property Council, Denise Lee.
Thank you, everyone. Good to be with you again this afternoon. So it's my pleasure just to bring a quick 10-minute update. I know some of the content might be a bit frustrating for you because it's just going to be a tad little update here and there. But of course, come and contact us anytime. That's what we're here for. So on that note, we have a fantastic team, advocacy team, and probably about half the team's relatively new. Hence the fantastic photo and an update from Leonie, of course, on the left. We've got Sandy, myself, then you've got Leonard, he's the birthday boy today, and then you've got Bella. So the New Look team's completed, and we've very much got loads of capability in that team. Not to be a little bit Scotty, but we've got a couple of law degrees, a couple of master's degrees, lots of politics majors, economics, and a first aid certificate. Now, this is going to be the most frustrating slide of all, right? I do not expect you to read this, but what I'm showing you here is member-only information that you can access. So if you go to our website, put in your credentials, you can get this. It's the Government Forward Work Program, so we're always monitoring what's coming next. I'm going to talk on the 4 circles in less than 5 minutes. So do avail yourself of this. We've also got a local government version. So if you ever wonder how we're keeping track, we are definitely keeping track about what's coming, and plenty of stuff that doesn't even make the grid. All right, so those 4 circles are these 4 topics. So development levies, fire and emergency, mixed use levy, and earthquake-prone building system review, the seismic review, and RMA reform. Those are just the 4 topics that I'm going to touch on really, really briefly. Now, don't forget again, if you need some more information on this, contact us anytime, and we've got task forces that I will refer to at the very end. Right, development levies, the new replacement for development contributions, DCs. So here are the 4 areas in quickfire that we have concerns about. There's plenty, and we can give you some more detail later, but one is the levy zones. So this is the new system. They're going to put in place levy zones. We think that they're going to look too wide. What they classify as urban centres is going to be too wide, the zone's too big, and causal nexus being removed. This is probably our number 1 issue for development levies. Causal nexus being removed is, in other words, money can't be tracked where it's going, and there's no guarantee that the infrastructure will actually show up. That's our number 1 concern. High growth area overlays. So overlays could be applied too often, and that's sort of an extra mechanism to get funding, and just the undermining of transparency and price. Our 3rd issue would be the regulator. You're absolutely going to need a very resourced, full-on regulator for this new scheme from day 1. What's being suggested at the moment is just interim and very much under-resourced. And then last but not least, implementation. This goes for anything that government ever does. How's it going to roll out? What's the practical? Who's going to road test? Who's actually tracking the practical impact on you and our other members? So, will the levies be immediately operative? Is there going to be pricing that'll be phased in, and so on and so on? Double dipping concerns. All right, fire and emergency mixed use levy. This one took us much by surprise, despite us being a key stakeholder. We hear everything that's coming from DIA and FENZ. This one we didn't. So it was a bill that sort of snuck through Parliament, still in the throes there now, which changes the apportionment or calculation methods used by FENZ to fund their levy in mixed-use commercial buildings. So what it's doing is that any mixed-use building, commercial and some residential, the mix, with the floor space greater than 50% commercial, would come entirely under the new commercial rate for the FENZ levy. So mixed use, but it's more than 50% commercial, it's coming under the commercial rate. Next I'll have on the list is the earthquake-prone building system review. So the seismic stuff, very proud of our efforts in this space. And I want to do a shout out to Sandy on our team who's really led this charge from day one. The review came out from government, as you know. We've talked about it, even the Minister this morning talked about it. We've really strongly advocated on your behalf. So in a nutshell, it disestablishes the MBS model. It has regional risk recognition, so as we know, Auckland, Northland, Chatham Islands out, while coastal Otago, including Dunedin's, reclassified as medium. Remediation requirements are now more nuanced, so as opposed to requiring all EPBs to be remediated to at least 34% MBS. So we've got some more nuancing going on, and of course greater flexibility for all the owners and our fantastic owner members. Stuff like councils can grant up to 15-year extensions, and this is a big one, seismic work won't automatically trigger costly fire and disability upgrades. So this change is probably going to knock out 55% of EPB's earthquake-prone buildings from the system immediately. So this is fantastic news. Now, the when, everyone's asking about the when. The amendment bill will come into Parliament early next year and then passed into law before the 26 election. Actual implementation day a little bit later than that. Now, we've had fantastic engagement with Minister Pink and his team, and actually have just come from meeting with him to find out some more details, which I can't share just at the minute, but we will process what we've just learnt in the last half an hour and be able to come back out to you. If you're not on our seismic task force, you should be, where you can get all the up-to-minute information. So the two things that we did raise with them, and we really got some great clarity on it, was buildings that fall outside the regulatory system and how they're going to be treated. So what we're hearing from several of you as members right now is that the market's still going to expect a simple, user-friendly mechanism for assessing seismic performance, and that's, insurance and bank requirements. There's still going to need to be something now, not something like the MBS system, but something. Who's going to do it? These are the questions that are starting to just bubble up. And lastly, the all-important interaction with the Health and Safety Work Act. How's that's going to, is the government actually really fully understanding this? So again, we had a fantastic conversation. And last but not least, RMA reform. Two bills coming out before Christmas, the Planning Act and the Natural Environment Act. They're going to be big. And they'll have them enforced by mid-2027. So that's going to be a big workload for our team, but we're up for it. And we'll look really forward to working with you in that regard. We've been working very closely with MFE behind the scenes in the lead up to those bills, and they've really done a great job so far at garnering some of our early thinking on them. All right, I'm going to leave things there. But one more reference on the screen there to joining our advocacy task forces. Just come and contact anyone in the team. We're all here today. Go to our website, email any of us, and we can tell you more about those 12 task forces that we have. Some of them are on build to rent, environment and sustainability, infrastructure funding and financing, seismic is one of them. We've got a whole array of task forces where you can get the most up-to-date information as it comes to light. So an example of that is that we met with Minister Pink just a short half hour ago, and now we will translate that straight out to our seismic task force. Now you as members, you'll all get the information, but if you're on the task force, you get it hot off the press. So thank you everyone. We very much appreciate your support for all that we do, and feel free to approach the team. I'm going to have them actually wave their hands. I think they're all off. Yeah, there they go. All the advocacy team down there. Thanks so much. Take care.